Hey, what's up guys? We had our first look at Nokia's 8110 4G a few months ago, and had some pretty positive first impressions. But now after using it for a while, we're not as hyped. I'm Will for GSM Arena, and this is our Nokia 8110 4G review. Our 8110 comes in black, and if its packaging reminded you of a toy's, well, it's sort of fitting, because the phone looks and feels like one. It's made of plain, cheap-feeling plastic. Sliding down the cover reveals the numeric keypad and also activates the phone. The same motion will also answer calls. There is a bit of friction though, and the slider feels stiff and uncomfortable to use. We would have preferred a smoother mechanism, or even a spring-loaded one. There is no touchscreen here. All navigation is done with the physical keys. There's nothing bad about that, but the buttons all feel mushy and are a bit too close together to be convenient to use. The back is curved, giving the 8110 its characteristic banana shape. If you have a banana in this color, it's probably time to bake some bread. A big part of the appeal behind this phone is the nostalgia factor. The original Nokia 8110 was legendary for its time, even starring in some feature films. But despite its IP52 rating, the 8110 4G is not nearly close to living up to its predecessor's solid and durable build. It's just not very resistant to scratches and scuffs. Ours started looking dinged up just after a week of using it. The 2.4-inch LCD is also easy to scratch. It's a shame. You shouldn't have to buy a screen protector for a phone like this one. For audio, the phone has a rear-mounted speaker. It's extremely loud, but also very poor in quality. Almost every sound gets distorted. You can plug your headphones into the 3.5mm jack instead, but with 4 gigs of internal memory, you won't be able to store too many songs. Luckily, there's an FM radio. With 4G in the name, this phone comes well geared in the way of connectivity. There are plenty of options including Wi-Fi, Bluetooth 4.1, GPS, VoLTE, and LTE. But a good online experience needs decent app support, not just a good connection, and sadly here the 8110 falls short. You do get some Google apps such as Google Search, YouTube, and Google Maps. There's Google Assistant too. But besides that, the native app store only offers Twitter and weather, and some simple games. That's it. There is no other social networking app, and there is no messaging app. Also, we frequently saw some slowdowns while using the available apps, and switching quickly between them led to noticeable stutters in the UI too. It's perhaps understandable, as the phone runs on a Qualcomm Snapdragon 205 chipset and has 512 MB of RAM. For single tasks like video playback, it works surprisingly well. But you should forget about any sort of multitasking, or playing more advanced games than the preloaded Snake. The 8110 4G has a 1500 mAh battery. We weren't able to run our standard test routine, but we were able to get 10 or 11 hours of web browsing or calling on a single charge. I'd expect more from a feature phone though. Also, recharging this battery is quite slow. A full charge took me more than 3 hours. The Banana phone has a single fixed focus camera which weighs in at 2 megapixels. It can only shoot in one orientation, so you have to turn it sideways to get a landscape photo. Here's what the general quality of the shots looks like. And here's a video recording sample at 720 by 480 resolution. As you can see, it's not a phone you'd buy for its camera quality. At least the frame rate is pretty steady at around 30 FPS. So, the Nokia 8110 4G. It brings a cool retro vibe and plenty of connectivity options, but unfortunately beyond that there's not much good to say about this phone. It's not as versatile as a smartphone, and yet it's more expensive and more fragile than your average feature phone. So unless you're really in it for the nostalgia, or you really love bananas, you should probably pass on this one. Thanks for watching. Hit like if you enjoyed this video and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. And you can always stop by gsmarena.com for our full test findings. See ya!